Today's video is a little bit different. I want to share a proper insight into how I regulate my ADHD when things have kind of gotten out of control. So this weekend, I decided that I was going to do some motorhome renovations. I'll make a different video about that. Clearly, I'm not in the motorhome. I can't really show you that right now. And in true ADHD style, I started on Friday and I worked until probably 11:30 at night. I got up on Saturday. I started first thing in the morning. I worked all day till 11 o'clock at night. Same thing Sunday. I got so many cuts. I was covered in junk. My nails are kind of grim. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Because I just worked and worked and worked. And what tends to happen is I tend to go in with one job in mind and end up doing 27 jobs. And I'm sure if you have ADHD, you can relate to this. The initial job I was doing was replacing a fridge. My fridge didn't work. It wasn't good enough. I wanted to replace it. That then led to deciding whether I was going to get a three-way fridge or just an electric fridge. That led to working out whether my batteries could handle it. They couldn't. Led to a whole rabbit hole of stuff and things that I will talk about in another video. My ADHD process for getting stuff done. And I can get stuff done. I mean, it is remarkable. It's one of our superpowers, right? But do I work efficiently? Absolutely not. I work like a maniac. I don't stop. I don't take a breath. And I try and do 17 jobs at once. Honestly, I could do a lot better. This means is I get super burnt out when I do this. When I forget my coping mechanisms, I get very burnt out. And I put all my coping mechanisms to one side over the weekend. And in hindsight, it was a mistake. Because today, I'm absolutely frazzled. I'm not sleeping very well. That makes everything so much worse. So I had some appointments this morning and I brought myself to the gym. And coming to the gym for me isn't about working out. I come to a very specific gym that gives me very specific things. And because I get bored very easily, I need to be able to push myself. I need to be able to change it up. I need to be able to just decide how I feel on any given day as to what I do, which I have that capacity here. Today, I had in mind that I was going to go for a swim. I'm not a swimmer, but to make it less boring, because let's face it, boredom is just absolute death to someone with ADHD. So to make it less boring, I bought myself some new flippers and some new hand paddles, and I wanted to try them out. And that motivated me enough that I got into the pool. They're amazing, by the way. I'm gonna show you some footage of them now, show you what they are. Because I have this fantastic outside pool available to me, that keeps my attention as well, because then I have the elements on my side, I have the changeable weather. If I'm just inside under fluorescent lighting all the time, like sometimes I can manage that and sometimes it's fine, but sometimes I can't manage that. And I've worked out that being outside and working out is so much better for me. Being in nature is such a grounding force for me. So it's something that I go towards anyway. I love paddleboarding, snowboarding, hiking, camping. Being outside in the elements helps to ground me and bring my energy into just a real stable place. So for me, the outside pool gives me all of those things. And it's really useful. I don't use it very often because I'm not massively motivated to swim. But today felt like a good thing to do. It felt refreshing. So I did that. And then I took myself into the spa. And this is where my best coping mechanism is. So in the spa, there are 3 or 4 different saunas, 3 or 4 different steam rooms. There's a plunge pool. There's some heated relaxation beds. Everywhere has calming music or bird song. There's beautiful essential oil smells everywhere. So from a sensory perspective, it is literally heaven for my little ADHD brain. So I spent some time in there. I spent some time in the sauna. I'll probably do around 10-15 minutes. Today I really needed to decompress, even though I have so much work to do. I have some client things to do, I have some admin to do, I have more content to make, and I need to do more on my van. But actually when I'm feeling this frazzled and like, I have so many things, that's exactly when I need to just stop. And I guess my advice to you, if you're in this situation, is not even advice. It's just a reminder that the less time you feel like you have to ground yourself, to rebalance yourself, the more you need it. And I'm saying that so that I hear that as well. So after I spent some time in the sauna, I did a 10-minute plunge pool, and that is heaven for my ADHD brain. The first initial getting in releases dopamine, releases all the chemicals into my brain for survival, which we love. ADHD brains, we love that. That's why we tend to thrill seek, and we tend to look for things that are kind of dangerous, dangerous sports, or we get into drug addictions or relationships that are kind of toxic. That can be something that we go towards because our ADHD brain loves the hit of chemicals, and the plunge pool does that for me. So the first couple of minutes is that, and then I start to just decompress. My brain just starts to calm down, and I think about one thing at a time, and I think, okay, I have this emotional situation I want to deal with, and then I just think about it super clearly and I solve it. And I think, this is what I need to do. And it is that simple when I'm in the plunge pool. And I stay in there until I've sorted all my things out. Today, I had an emotional situation that I needed to work out. I had a post that I need to make, that I needed to figure out the wording for. I had a bunch of business admin, whole bunch of stuff on my to-do list that I needed to prioritize. Now, with ADHD, you don't prioritize so well, right? Everything needs to get done immediately, all the time. And even though I'm a life coach, this is the I live and breathe mindset, I'm human too. And I forget to take care of my ADHD brain. And then I get myself in a situation like this weekend where I'm totally burnt out. So I stayed in the plunge pool for 10.5 minutes today. And then I went and warmed myself up. I actually made a whole video of the 10-minute plunge. Literally, I recorded the whole thing and I'm going to post it. So if you want to see what it's like sitting in a plunge pool at 7 degrees, 6 degrees, whatever it is, for 10 minutes, you can watch that. I'm going to post it at some point in the next week. So hit the subscribe button and you'll get a notification when it comes up, or just check back in, because I feel like that is a really useful thing to be able to see. You'll see the whole process of me getting in the pool, how it is the first 2 minutes, and then how my body just relaxes into it, and how I am at the end as well. And that was about an hour and a half ago that I did that, and I'm still thinking super calmly. Everything is still just one thing at a time, one thought at a time, and that is definitely not my default mode. That happens to me every time I get in the plunge pool. So it's a massive part of my coping mechanism. And today, because I really needed to regulate, I also sat and I had some food here, because I know if I go home, I'm probably not going to make the most healthy thing. So I sit here, I have some poached eggs on gluten-free toast and a smoothie, and just really look after myself. The other thing I do when I'm here at the gym, it's like a gym spa. The other thing I do is I drink so much water. So all of these things together change my mindset completely without me forcing my mind. It's physical. I'm doing physical things that are interesting and fun, and I'm changing it up the whole time. And as a result of that, I feel calm. And now I'm going to go home, and I've written down my prioritized to-do list straight after I came out of the plunge pool, because I cannot prioritize things at any other time. But when I'm in the plunge pool, it's simple. There's like an obvious order to things, which I think, wow, is this how people that don't have ADHD think? Like everything is that easy. And it makes me realize how difficult I find these things in day-to-day life. So I've written down my to-do list, and I'm going to go home and I will just diligently follow it. Just follow the to-do list that I've written in the plunge pool when I was clear and calm. So I know this is not my usual content, but I just wanted to share a very human side of me. We're all just human beings working through this life experience. And one of the things that I struggle with is my ADHD. And it's really useful for me to watch other people and how they cope. And I hope it's been useful to you, this slightly chaotic insight into a tool that I have for managing it. Right now, this is my main go-to for sure. And it's much better than a lot of my other tools, because some of my other tools are packing the van and driving for 4 hours and going to live on the beach for 3 days, which is great, totally regulates me, but it's not that practical. Whereas this, I've taken a few hours out of my day, yes, but it's a few hours that will make the rest of my day so much easier. And right now, actually, what I'm thinking is this needs to be a priority for my morning routine. I need to just get up and come here and spend that few hours rather than spinning out about all the things I need to do and then getting up and be like, right. Because having the motivation to do things isn't a problem. Having the energy to do it, not a problem. But what is a problem is not prioritizing, not being clear, not being calm, not doing things in a sensible order. So I think I'm away Wednesday to Sunday, but I think next week I'm going to try getting up and just coming here straight away and just say, okay, 2 hours out of my day starts with this, and let's see how it impacts my life. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you do any of these things or you're going to try any of those things, let me know. If you've got any other ADHD coping mechanisms for burnout or just day-to-day life, drop them in the comments, because it'd be useful for me and it'd be useful for anyone else that stumbles across this video or reads the comments. Let's share, right? Let's be a community and let's share. That's the one thing I love most about the internet, is that we can connect with one another without even knowing each other, and we can share these wisdoms. I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope this has been somehow helpful or insightful for you.